and welcome back to the Scenario 7 podcast. My name is Sam, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host. It's Josh Baker and Joe Roberts. How are you two doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very, very well. Thank you, Sam.
That's great to hear. That is really good to hear. And we're back, and we're here for a Austrian/Styrian Grand Prix preview. First of all, guys, what do you think of the track here in Austria? I mean, it's the same track for Styrian and the Austrian Grand Prix. It's not like Bahrain where they changed the circuit. But yeah, what do you think about the track here?
Sorry, Josh. I like this track a lot. I think it's one of my favorite tracks. The like previous races, what we're going to talk about now, describes how good this track is. There's some cases where it can be boring, but that's with every track. But it's got straights where you can overtake, and also a very technical section in the middle and the last sector. So yeah, it is a very good track.
Yeah, I completely agree with Joe. It's an enjoyable track to watch and watch races on. It can sometimes cause carnage and sometimes doesn't, but it always brings good racing and different results that you don't exactly expect each race weekend. So I'm looking forward to the next two these weekends.
Yeah, certainly. It's a low downforce track to be high power. Normally get lots of overtaking, which as F1 fans we love. It's Red Bull's home track, but the Mercedes are they have a very good record here. They won the two races last year. Hamilton won Styrian and Bottas winning Austrian, which we're going to talk about in a sec. Well, we're going to talk about now, actually. Guys, let's talk about fond memories of Austria/Styrian. There's only been one Styrian Grand Prix, so we're allowing Austria fond memories as well. But yeah, what are your fond memories of this track?
I think I better go first because I think everyone's expecting what my fond memory is going to be. But mine is the Austria 2020 race from last year when Lando got his maiden podium. It was quite a dramatic end when I think Bottas and Hamilton were running P1 and P2, but obviously Hamilton got a 5-second penalty, which meant that Leclerc behind him then got P2, and Lando on his last lap put in the fastest lap and managed to get within the 5 seconds to then jump Hamilton and get for P3 for his first ever podium. So definitely a very memorable race and one of my favourite races of the year. And it definitely, and also let's not forget Carlos Sainz and the other McLaren also got P5. So it was a very good weekend for the McLarens, and it was the first race of the season. So it was nice to have F1 back after such a long break due to COVID. So it was just a good race overall.
Oh, for me, there's a number of tracks. Number of seasons you can go. You can go from, I think it might be 2015 where you got like the Williams getting pole, then Boston in their strategy. My one, it's again goes in my character on this podcast, controversy, where Rosberg hit Hamilton off the track on the last lap, gave himself front wing damage and ended up finished P4. But it had drama. A lot of people got lapped, but I think there's once for a good time getting lapped that Manor Racing got their, I think it was first points for the season. It might have been when Jules Bianchi was around when they got in Monaco, but Pascal Wehrlein got his first points ever in F1, which obviously he's now gone on to different things. But that for me is from the standout. Obviously, there's loads of races we can go from because it's just such a good track, and from like wet weather racing or in changeable conditions. So for me, it is 2016.
Yeah, that was really a great race. I've gone back to 2020 like Josh, because we can't talk about fond memories of the Styrian Grand Prix without mentioning the one race which was actually called the Styrian Grand Prix. It's even before the race we had Carlos Sainz qualifying third in the McLaren, which was really good. They had a really good car, but it wasn't as good as it is this year, and so that was really brilliant for them. We had lap one, we had two Ferraris hitting each other, which caused a double DNF in a bad year for Ferrari, and that race kind of summed up their year. It was just not going well for them. We had towards the end, Josh loves us, the Lando Norris scenario 7. Our podcast is named after this moment and this scenario, so we had to bring it up, where he overtakes 3 cars of the final lap, then be Stroll, Ricardo, I think it is no, not Ricardo, Stroll, Sainz, and Perez. I think it is Perez getting wing damage. Lewis Hamilton won the race I mentioned earlier, and my boy Checo Perez, I mentioned he got overtaken by Norris, but 17th to 6th with wing damage for the last few laps. That is an amazing race from him. And yeah, as you said, Austrian Grand Prix always full of drama, and this the Styrian Grand Prix was exactly the same. Moving on to, what do you expect to see this weekend? It's going to be exciting, going to be drama, hopefully. It'll probably have a commentator's curse now, it'll be rubbish. But yeah, what do you expect to see this weekend?
Well, it's going to be wet. From the forecast, it's going to be very wet, which very quite common in Austria. But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of drama. So that's going to be my first one. Are we doing the top 5 thing?
Top 5 things you expect to see this weekend.
Yeah. Rain, being wet. That's probably obvious. I'm actually going to be nice to Bottas this time. I think he will have a decent result. I think he will finish above the Red Bulls. I think Norris will get a podium again. Because that car looks ridiculously quick in a straight line. Mercedes will be back on form and dominating. Mazepin won't spin, so I'm being nice.
Oh, yes.
And I think Ferrari will struggle again.
I like that. It's interesting. I like the Mazepin one as well, to be fair. We're not slating him this time. I've gone somewhat similar. I've gone similar with the drama. So my first one is, I think Verstappen is going to carry on his DNFing form in Austria, and he's not going to finish the race. I also think, like Joe said, there's going to be rain. Due to the rain, I think Williams will somehow sneak into the points. I think like cars will be spinning off or being really slow in the rain, and one Williams driver will just sneak up there and just like take 9th or 10th. I've also, like Joe said, Mercedes will be really strong. They're going to bounce back from the French Grand Prix and just be in the podium places. And then again, I put red flag to ruin someone's final run in quali. We got to love it when Stroll or someone else just doesn't get their final run, so it's going to happen again. And I've also put Aston Martin to be the best of the midfield teams.
Very interesting. Poor Lance Stroll. Imagine he is quali drama again. That man can't catch a break in qualifying. I really struggled. I didn't really know what to put. So a lot of what I expect to see this weekend are cop-outs. So I've got wet weather, which is the same as Joe. Lots of overtaking. These are really bad points, but yeah, lots of overtaking. I'm predicting 5 DNFs. I've gone for an exact number. And carrying on with that theme, I've got at least one team to double DNF. In brackets, I've got the Haas, which is because wet weather and their temperamental car, I'm not sure how it will really go. Either that or they'll be like 10 laps behind because it's such a short track that they're just going to get lapped over and over and over again. And finally, I've got a Mercedes win. I think they'll be back in form. They're normally quite good in the Red Bull ring. So yeah, I have got Mercedes winning. Yeah, that's my 5. And finally, let's move on to top 5 in the weekend. We start from 1st to 5th. Remember, guys, let's not go off in some random order. So, yeah, 1st to 5th. Who do you think, is coming 1st to 5th?
So, like I said in the predictions, I think Mercedes are going to be the dominant car this weekend. So I've got Hamilton in P1. Well, I've also switched, not quite, but I've done something different. Obviously, I'm a massive Lando fan, and I know how good he is around Austria. So I put him in P2. He's going to get one better than this year and finish P2 instead of P3. And I've got Bottas in P3, Perez in P4, and Ricciardo in P5.
Okay. Well, I've got. I think there'll be a Fernando, I'm faster than you moment in this race because of Bottas being so far behind in the championship so far. So I think Hamilton will win it, but Bottas will be leading the majority of the Grand Prix. And then I'm going to go for Norris, P3. P4, I'm going to go for Ricciardo. Then P5, Perez.
Interesting prediction. Wait, did you say Verstappen in that top 5? Do you not think he's finishing top 5? Oh,
I think he will get spun out and crash.
Yeah, I said he wasn't finishing, so I couldn't put him in the top 5.
Both of you know Verstappen top 5. That is controversial. I do have him in my top 5. So first I think Hamilton will win. I think Bottas will have a really good weekend. I think he'll come second. I have Verstappen in third, taking up that last podium spot. But Lando Norris in fourth, not far behind, and Perez in fifth, taking that top 5. Not as adventurous as you guys. I've got reasonably safe with Bottas, the only real hot take there, which is barely a hot take. Bear in mind the car he's in. But yeah, that is my top 5, and that wraps up our podcast previewing the Styrian Grand Prix. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, download on audio platforms, whatever you need to do to support us. We really appreciate it. And enjoy the race this weekend. And we will see you for a review on Monday. Thanks, guys.